Sometimes YouTube is an amazing but equally frustrating place, especially for smaller YouTubers such as myself. While I was taking notes on this and getting ready to hit record, Dave from Computing Forever released a pretty damn good video on a similar subject. Since his take's different, I'm going to go ahead and proceed. There's been a lot of speculation about YouTube's recent crackdown and demonetization of specific types of videos. A few videos, including Dave's, that I've seen on the subject recently have done very well in describing what YouTube is doing, and they offer some very detailed insight. So this video is not going to be about what's actually going on. Instead, it's going to be more of a why and what can we do about it. For me to explain this, we have to first look at some history. One noteworthy event is when the League of Latin American Citizens attempted to get Howard Stern off the air by boycotting his advertisers in 1995. Stern eventually prevailed, but his opponent didn't have much in the way of influence to shape a narrative that would affect him on a global level. Take note of the key word here, the advertisers. Fast forward to today, we have media hit pieces against people like PewDiePie, Sargon, and many other popular alternative media personalities by the mainstream media. I've heard a lot of conjecture here as to why this is going on, and I believe the answer is quite simple. Not dissimilar to Stern, the mainstream media is going after the YouTube community through advertisers, not by boycotts, but through guilt by association. And at this point, you might ask yourself why. And again, this has a very simple answer: money. The mainstream media has been fading into obscurity over the years, and post-election really hit them hard. Advertisers aren't spending as much money in traditional media as they once were. Those dollars have been slated for more dynamic forms of direct marketing such as YouTube. Realizing the loss of profits and their inability to remain relevant, the mainstream media has contrived to harm the alternative media by intentionally pushing SJW ideas of sanitization and convincing advertisers if their ads showed up on a channel that went against their contrived social norm, they would be associated with those views and they would lose revenue. Google may be a left-leaning company, but unlike Twitter, they are about profits. The recent filters and demonetization are a knee-jerk reaction to YouTube losing profit, or rather, potentially losing profit. If the advertisers were to pull because of rainbows and unicorns, I can assure you that we would see very little of them. I truly believe this is not a direct attack of ideology by YouTube. I do believe it is an attack by those who stand to lose money due to the alt media. The SJWs are winning the battle on this front. So the real question is, how do we fight it, and why, besides the obvious, are the SJWs winning? SJWs will scream louder, protest with greater frequency, and boycott every time something doesn't go their way. Since the mainstream media is aligned with them, the only immediate attention given to a subject will consequently be aligned with or amended by the media to portray the subject in a light that reflects well on them. We as rationals realize that most people are not SJW, and the media is full of twits, so we give little worry to their elective insanity. In our confidence, we ignore that people making decisions for large companies are far removed from people like you and I that are the working man. They typically believe what they see on the news and in papers, and not because they're unintelligent, but because they're too busy to research every issue. They don't want to be caught with their pants down on an issue, so they react. Their profits depend on it, after all. So what can we really do here? We have two choices. One is to let companies eventually realize they have joined forces with the wrong side, or we can fight, and I choose to fight. I believe since the mainstream media is against us, we have to be more grassroots in our approach. We have to let advertisers know this will impact their profits. We have to select a few of the larger advertisers and inundate their email and physical mailing addresses with well-crafted letters explaining that we enjoy alternative media and that we are worth advertising to. Our money is just as good and just as green as SJW money. Just think, if only a few YouTubers with 100K plus subs could get 10% of their audience on board with a letter writing campaign, the numbers would be staggering. Imagine being at work, expecting an email, and having to sort through thousands of emails to even do your job. Imagine getting your mail for the day and finding several thousand letters in a bag because your mailbox was full. Hitting their pockets is the only way we're going to truly make a difference here. The bottom line is profits. The bottom line is money. This is how we get our voice heard. Companies have only been hearing one side of the argument for far too long. and for many reasons, one of which is unbalanced reporting and, worse yet, agenda-driven reporting. It is time we made our voices heard loudly, clearly, and with a passion we feel for freedom to choose and freedom of speech. So that's my take on the subject. You can find me on Twitter and on Minds, and in the description area you'll find links to some of my favorite YouTubers. I try to rotate that list. If you like what I'm doing here, go ahead and subscribe if you'd like, or give that like button a little nudge. Also, I would really like to hear from you in the comments area. All comments are welcome since I filter nothing. I'd like to know what you think of what I'm doing, and if you'd like to see me cover a specific subject, or if you'd just like to criticize me or tell me to jump off a bridge. Either way, anything's fine. Until next time.